Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this is the JFK Files Part 30. So it's basically page 30. We've gone through lots and lots of documents. But anyway, at least we're getting this list of information. We can't get the Epstein client list, but hey, at least they put all this in here for us for JFK. But anyway, let's get started. I'm going to do probably like I think there's like five of these that are pretty short, and the other ones I'm gonna have to do separate videos for. But let's get going. So this is a secret. 23rd of June, 1976. Memorandum for Chief Counterintelligence Staff. Attention, Mr. Julian Fox from Clifton R. Strathern, Chief Latin American Division. Subject: general comments on Mr. David Phillips' manuscript. Reference: C. Ladd Memorandum dated 22nd of June 1976, citing specific objections to Mr. David Phillips's manuscript. The general tenure of the manuscript leaves much to be desired from both an operational and security viewpoint. The author, in numerous instances, specifically discloses sources, methods, cover arrangements, and liaison relationships. Various LA division officer who have reviewed portions of the manuscript pertinent to their areas have commented negatively on the revelations of tradecraft and identification of numerous overseas stations and operations. Other objectionable items in the manuscript concern the confirmation of AG's effectiveness in neutralizing agency efforts abroad by publishing lists of CIA personnel in specific stations, revelation of Office of Communications personnel in every embassy abroad, the agency role in countering terrorism, narcotics trafficking, and training provided, other services to counteract these activities, and the specific identity of liaison relationships, particularly the Israeli service. The overall consensus of this division is that the publication of this manuscript in its present form would be detrimental to the agency and this division in particular. And that's Clifton R. Strathern, and basically a secret document. All right, let's look at the next one. So this is John M. Reeves Jr., and this is 24th of May, 1976. Attached are chapters 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, and the epilogue to David Phillips's book, The Night Watch. Previous chapters are changed as follows. 5, The Bay of Pigs is now 4. 8, Dominican Crisis is now 6. And 11, Washington 1973 to 74 is now 9. Please review these chapters for material that is classified, was learned while the author was a CIA employee, and has not been placed in the public domain by the agency. Concurrent review is being conducted by LA Division, CI staff, CCS, DDO, SS, SOG, OGC, DDO, SU, O, Commo, Chapter 10, and SE Division, Chapter 8. The author must meet a publishing deadline within the next few weeks. In order to negotiate deletions before the deadline, your review and comments should be returned no later than 11th of June, 1976. Only comment by CSCG regarding Chapter 7, page 44, regarding Camp Peary being CIA installation. To our understanding, this base has never been officially acknowledged as a CIA installation, and that CSCG also suggests NE Division and CAG may wish review. This package given to CAG and returned with the no comments. All right, there's the 2 pages that review for approval, manuscript submitted by Mr. David A. Phillips, J.F. Meehan, 5th of June, 1976. Subject: a retired agency staff employee and former CLA division has submitted the attached manuscript containing 3 chapters of a book he has in preparation. Coordination for review and comment is requested to determine if the material, 1, is classified, was learned while the writer was employed by the agency, or 3, has not been placed in the public domain by the agency. Please note author's query for information contained in paragraph 3 of his letter, FYI. The author had previously submitted chapters 1 and 8, which were security approved with deletions. Coordination for review is being conducted with LA Division, CI staff, CCS, DDO, SS, SOG, and DDO, SSU. It would be appreciated if this office could have viewed comments before COB, like close of business, the 16th of January 1976. CCS comments on reverse side. And it says 1 to 9. CCS recommends deletion of that part of the last sentence following the semicolon of the first paragraph on page 10 of chapter 11, which identifies Camp Perry as a site of agency training sources. Camp Perry is an agency training installation under the DoD cover, and while its CIA affiliation has been alleged numerous times in the press, no confirmation of this affiliation has been made by the agency. Mr. Phillips's comments as a former senior agency officer can be interpreted as constituting official acknowledgement of the CIA Camp Perry relationship in his HCS. And let's see. So this is 2 pages. This manuscript submitted by David A. Phillips. Attached are the comments of Acting Chief SOG regarding subject manuscript. All 3 comments fall within caveats 2 and 3 cited in your routing and record sheet. HR Kehoe, I don't know. Chief EAB and Office of Security. Chapter 11, page 10. Though Camp Perry has received much publicity, there appears no good reason to confirm the use of this facility by the agency unless we plan on officially opening Camp Perry as a CIA training facility. It should not be mentioned. Check OTR, page 15. The Phoenix program originated before William Colby, before Dep Cords, a COMUS, MACV. Ambassador Comer started the program and asked that Colby replace him as Dep Cords so that there would be some continuity in the effort to deal with criminal elements in the Viet Cong infrastructure. It is unfair to subjectively state that the Operation Phoenix was Colby's own albatross. Certainly, Colby doesn't believe this, though. He is receiving considerable flack from those who would like others to believe that the whole program was one of assassination, of which Colby, as head of the CIA, was in charge. And then page 39, was still putting audio devices in Coke bottles. All these techniques and methods should not be discussed, since we may very well want to use them again in the future. And then let's see here. This is 3 pages. 3rd of June, 1976. Memorandum for Chief External Activities Branch, Office of Security, from John H. Stein, Deputy Chief, Soviet East European Division. Manuscript by David Phillips. At the risk of tilting continually at windmills, it is the undersigned's view, and that of innumerable colleagues, that Mr. Phillips' book should not be published. In the first instance, those portions we have read are superficial and give the reader the impression that the profession which Mr. Phillips practiced so well is one of daring do, frivolity, and foolishness. More seriously, the entire book is based on knowledge acquired by Mr. Bill Phillips during his career in the agency. Whether a given sentence is in the public domain or not, Mr. Phillips should not put his his stamp of authenticity on that sentence. If published, Mr. Phillips must, and if the agency cannot legally stop him, then so be it. Hopefully, while there is still time, someone will push for appropriate legislation to stop this foolishness. While it is perhaps fruitless, we have attempted to identify some of the more damaging items in the text as drafted. These are cited below. Page 15, discussion of back channel communications used to circumvent the Secretary of State seems to be ill advised and not designed to enhance agency relationships or relations with state. Page 23, there begins here a discussion of the use of women by the DDO. Sounds familiar. While I understand Mr. Phillips' desire to indicate that the DDO does in fact hire women and minorities, this section causes some anguish at the present time. Certainly in the Near East, Eastern Europe, and the Soviet Union, the use of women provides us an operational flexibility which we would not otherwise have. It is quite evident, furthermore, that the local security services have not focused on the extent to which we do use women. We would like to keep it that way as long as we possibly can, and it is the undersigned's firm belief that statements from Mr. Phillips, obviously authentic, will rather quickly bring the women we do use under increased scrutiny of hostile intelligence services. Further, in opening the Pandora's box of the use of women and minorities in the DDO, Mr. Phillips may be opening both himself and the DDO to unjustified criticism that we're either exploiting women or not hiring enough of them, similarly, the minorities. Page 25, I have known personally for 17 years the girl who, although stripped naked by burglars, managed to save her mother and father from harm. There are others elsewhere in the government and probably outside who are knowledgeable about the incident. The girl, now a lovely lady, is about to be dispatched under very sensitive cover abroad. Mr. Phillips would do well to delete reference to her as being an agency employee. Page 26, I think is unwise for Mr. Phillips to conjecture on the reason why there are few blacks employed in the DDO. His reasoning may be correct, but I would venture that not everyone who reads his book will believe so, and the agency may come under unfortunate pressure because of it. The specific black cited on page 27 as having removed a flag from the hands of demonstrators is a personal friend of mine. He is undercover. By citing the incident, Mr. Phillips removes that cover, for the black retrieved the flag as an American citizen, not as a CIA officer. In sum, I would suggest the deletion of the section involving women and minorities because it opens a Pandora's box, and because, as written, the cover of two highly effective officers is placed in jeopardy. And then page 36, the anecdote on page 36 should at least be modified. The person referred to is the undersigned. I am the only agency and state officer who owns a chow dog. All my acquaintances abroad know I own the chow dog. To avoid damaging further what cover I have left, I would appreciate Mr. Phillips citing or simply citing dog or calling it a poodle. John H. Stein. So they're trying to cover up something there, boy. Oh well. I'd probably stop it here. There was one other. Oh, this talked about the book. That's still. We'll just do that. Okay, hold on. So I think this is more references, but it's really short. So even though it says 6 pages, they're not all filled up. But it says chapter 3, page 13 refers to deep cover personnel income, offset against CIA salary and to CIA officers under light cover protected by diplomatic or official passports. Refers to laundering of CIA salary before deposit to personal bank accounts. Chapter 5 contains detailed references throughout to Winston Scott, identified as the chief of station in Mexico City, Central cover staff points out that Mr. Scott, who is never officially acknowledged as a CIA employee, retired under State Department cover in Mexico, where he subsequently died and where his widow and children still reside. Chapter 7, page 29, discussion of cover. Pages 44 through 49 identifies Camp Perry as a CIA training establishment, discusses training cover and Department of Defense cover. Central cover staff assert that while CIA auspices of Camp Perry or Peary has been often alleged in the press, the agency has never confirmed it as a fact. And then chapter 8, pages 2 and 3, discussion of cover. Page 4, reference to CIA state ground rule that ambassadors are not necessarily informed about deep cover officers. Chapter 9, page 37, has written passage in first full paragraph could endanger a particular source, according to the Northeast Division, which suggests the following modification. Unexpected development from surveilling the group's movements, it was established that the intention was to travel to an adjoining area where a major energy installation we assumed might be their target. CIA, through liaison, warned the authorities of that country and appropriate defense measures were taken. I instructed the CIA station in Costa Brava to advise the president that the terrorists might be using his country as, and it doesn't say what it is. And then pages 38 to 41, LA Division recommends that the passage on the terrorist kidnapping in the Dominican Republic be deleted for the following reason. This incident is still fresh in the minds of most Dominicans, and it is unrealistic to assume that it will not be picked up and published in the local press. Barbara Hutchinson, USIA, one of the people kidnapped, is still in the Dominican Republic, and according to 2 recent reports, is again being considered as a target for kidnapping. The potential for terrorist acts against U.S. citizens continues. 3 leaders of terrorist-oriented groups are in prison, and publication of this item could propel the terrorists into action. The close link between the ambassador and the station, as portrayed in the book, could be prejudicial to his public image and might even provoke the terrorists to target against him. The station has renewed a liaison relationship, and much effort is being directed toward developing mutual confidence. Revelation of details of a joint operation by a former division chief might lead the increasingly friendly liaison contacts to wonder whether we can maintain confidence on future operations and thereby throw the new relationship into jeopardy. Although the bugging of the thermos was discovered and appeared in the press, the use of the Coca-Cola case was not exposed and therefore continues to be an operational possibility, at least as far as the Dominican Republic is concerned. Revelation of the technique by AG should not be a criterion for further disclosure. All right, I'm going to stop this here and then I'll try to record the last couple. Excuse me. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.